The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters. It really does. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick, marching forth with another radio adventure. And boy, we have a great cast today. I'm going to surprise you as we go along each step of the way. And whether you're listening here in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, even one of my favorite places, Dana Point, California, we know you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting guests. Yes, we talk about real estate, but we also have a theme of lifestyle, Houston lifestyle. We talk about almost anything that relates to the home. So we're glad you tuned in. And as always, we are sponsored by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management and their president, Tom Carpentier, leading the company in a magnificent way 24/7. And now, as they say, on with the show, and our first guest, a legendary Houstonian. She is Dee Dee Guggenheim with Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. She is a top producer, always a great guest. Dee Dee, welcome to the show.
Bill, it's a pleasure to be here at Real Estate Matters because it does matter.
It really, and so many things matter. Sometimes it's hard to know what matters first, but we are glad that you're here today.
Thank you.
Let's tell people, in case they don't know, about Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty.
Martha Turner Sotheby's just recently became Martha Turner Sotheby's. Everyone knows Martha Turner Properties was a leading independent real estate company in Houston, reaching over $2.1 billion in sales. Sotheby's took notice, wanted to forge into the Houston market, and the result was a very successful joint venture, Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. So we're no longer just local, we're national, and now we're international, which gives my properties, my luxury properties, far more exposure than I ever had.
No doubt about it, and you do so well with those luxury properties, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But also, let's tell people a little bit about your background and what is that you love about real estate. Since I met you, and it's only been recently, I always see you smiling. And it's always been in a real estate environment. So what is it that gets you so excited about real estate?
If you can't get excited about real estate, you definitely shouldn't be a realtor because it's great right now. It's always great. And I love my job. I have the best career because it's never the same answer and it's never the same question. And that makes it exciting every day to get up. I sell luxury, Bill. That's what I do.
A luxury lifestyle. And boy, that is a great lifestyle. And we are actually, quite frankly, we are almost tuned in from birth. As soon as we watch TV, aren't those luxury shows, those beautiful homes, the lifestyle, that's just something they market to us right from birth, and that's something we seek, and you are there to make dreams happen like that.
Do you remember Champagne and Caviar Dreams?
I remember that. In fact, I remember...
What was that show?
that was Lifestyles.
Can I have that show?
There you go. I wonder what happened to that guy. That was Robin Leach.
Yes.
Just a side note, I remember standing behind him, checking in at the Omni Hotel in Houston a long time ago. But yeah, Robin Leach, Champagne Dreams or something like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, we need a show like that.
There you are. Well, this could be the birth of that. You know, a lot of things. One show leads to another, quite frankly. We've seen that through the years in TV and even in radio. But in the meantime, we talk about the luxury market. Let's tell people, how is that luxury market that you're in all the time?
My primary focus is in the River Oaks area. Of course, my clients take me all over the city, but I can tell you it's very good right now. We've enjoyed great real estate at the top of the market 2014. You know, certainly it's changed with everything around us, but Houston's so diverse, we're not seeing that much of a problem with that oil glut we have. I'm sure you've heard about that.
I heard a little bit about it, but I also, you are the second person that I'm hearing that we've heard reports that, well, things under 500, and it also varies to parts of town, but we've heard people say things that are under 500 are flying off the shelf, but the things that are higher are not so much. But that is not what you're experiencing.
I don't always believe the media, do you? That's what the celebrities tell us. Don't believe them.
I only believe the things I hear on this show and a few others.
Okay. Well, if it's here, it's real. I can tell you that It may have slowed down somewhat, but I think those buyers and those sellers in the luxury market, which would anything, over $1 million, are looking at the stock market. They're looking at where they want to put their money if they sold, where they were going to buy otherwise, and what the market's like for their home right now with the buyers. And buyers may be taking their time. It may take a little bit longer to get the job done. I think they're savvy buyers, but in our industry and in our market, if you offer a white glove concierge service for the buyer and for the seller, they're informed buyers, and that's what we want. Someone that knows what the product is and is ready to go when you are.
And quite frankly, I would observe that it's almost like a better shopping environment. If I'm the buyer going into the River Oaks market or any other luxury market, it seems like it's probably a better shopping environment for me because I'm not as rushed along. And I love how you describe the white glove service.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting. We have more in River Oaks on the market than we did. We were used to very low inventory just a couple of years ago, so that the buyers have more choices. So whether it's a great location but has great bones but needs a lot of work, and it costs more than something maybe 2009 construction, like new, similar to one of my listings there in River Oaks on East Side, it's a good decision either way because River Oaks is a strong market with the schools, with the area. You cannot go wrong. Like other areas like Tanglewood, West University, Memorial. Again, my focus is in River Oaks, and that the buyers demand and the sellers demand a white glove luxury concierge service. That means you might have to go above and beyond, but it shouldn't take that much more effort anyway when you're selling at those prices.
And that's so important, above and beyond. When you talk about the white glove, and I mentioned earlier already in my mind, Dana Point, I'm thinking of the Ritz-Carlton and any kind of place, especially any Ritz-Carlton, but that one in particular, I've learned a lot of sales lessons just by being a guest there. And being a guest there is fun. And when you see service elevated to those levels, that encourages you and me to go out and deliver that, because what happens is it makes people feel so good, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I like to say yes, and I don't know, but I'll find out. No is not in my vocabulary because anything's possible.
Indeed. Now let's talk about that luxury market and the marketing of properties, both buying and selling. Mm-hmm. What are the extra things that are done? Let's say you take a listing that is a $5 million or $5 million plus listing. Right off the bat, what are the extra things that come into your mind that you know that you need to provide? And then you probably have a few extras, surprises to raise that level. Give us an idea of what goes through your mind.
I'm going to provide everything it takes to sell that house. But of course, exposure is number one. You've got to expose it to the buyers, the public. In this case, you've got to open it up. Say you have a challenging location and someone thinks it might be noisy. You've got to get people in to see that it's not. You've also got to point out all of its amenities, upgrades, attributes. A house, I've never met a house I didn't like. And you've got to show everyone exactly what you like about it and why those sellers lived there and enjoyed it and upgraded it. You have to make sure that buyer knows everything there is to know about that house. That also attributes to the price, the location, the market. Buyers are savvy. Buyers agents are savvy. You have to be ready. But I believe in open houses. Broker opens, maybe you have to bring a chef in. Maybe you have to excite with a wine and cheese at night on a Tuesday. Maybe on Sundays you have to, just be open a little bit longer. You may have to pick a periodical or advertising venue that you've not used before, like Houston Business Journal or a Wall Street Journal. The nice thing about Sotheby's, Martha Turner Sotheby's, is we have that at our fingertips. We can promote that advertising within a week's time and get that house national and international in addition to the local exposure.
Indeed. And the thing I was thinking about when you're talking about communicating what the house is and how the people there have enjoyed it, I think another thing that comes into play, or tell me, the part of what the house can be. Because there's a lot of times as the real estate professional, you do so many things, but sometimes you have to be the visionary and point out Do you realize that this area that the present owner is using for this can be used for that? Right? That comes into play.
Absolutely. The first thing I do when I meet with somebody is I make them tour the house for me. I want to know why they love it, why they live there, why they bought it. If the only other person that's going to show it better than me is them, and we don't want them to do that. That's why they've hired me, and I want to feel what they felt living there, and so that's real important to me. Right up front, that seller is going to tell me all I need to know about that house, and it's going to make me love it too, which will help my buyers love it.
No doubt about it. In fact, of all, this is, I believe, show 132, 133. That is the quote of one of the quotes that I would put down. I've never met a house I didn't like. First time to hear it on this show. Way to go, Didi.
133? I don't see any gray hair.
Well, that's right. Thank you. But also, the other thing I was going to say, switch gears with the last minute left. Tell us about, you talked about the seller of the luxury home. How do you counsel the buyer? Let's say I'm the person that comes to you, and maybe a few more radio shows I might be where I say, hey, I have $6 million to spend. Mm-hmm. How do you counsel that buyer?
Well, I'll take them straight to my house.
Okay.
But secondly, I'll definitely take them to an older home, a newer home, and a new construction. You know, right now, new construction in River Oaks is flying off the shelf, and they're paying big prices. And but my buyer, if I don't know them, if they've been relocated from somewhere, like I recently have someone from D.C., or if it's somebody that was referred to me from a very good friend, I've got to be in the house. I've got to be in several houses. It could be 10, 15 houses before I know exactly what they want. Do they want a pool? Do they want an older bungalow? Do they want to fix up? Do they want to do nothing so they can travel? Do they want lock and leave? Do they have kids? What schools? It's an endless list. And it's only then that I can find out and do the right job for them. But the luxury market, they'll let you know. Because if they've got $6 million to spend, they're going to make sure they get a good value, a great house. Doesn't mean they're going to stay there forever. I'm counting on that. But we make sure we know exactly what they need by the end of that tour.
Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Didi Guggenheim with Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty. Didi, how can people reach you if they want to buy that $6 million house?
Well, that'd be great. You can reach me at 713-253-8529, Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty, or DEE.HOWES@sotheby'shomes.com.
Very
Bill,
nice.
Thank you so much. Everybody's clapping here for me.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Woo!
You're super awesome. You are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Tuttle, your host, Bill Nampick. Stay tuned and listen to these important words.
Stuart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stuart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stuart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stuart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stuart Title, online at Stuart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title, your host, Bill Nampick. And, boy, we talk about real estate all the time, and we're talking about all kinds of real estate. And now we're going to travel a little bit west. Those of you that know Houston, we were in the River Oaks area. Now we're going to go west to actually, it was west a long time ago, but now we kind of call it the city center of Houston. It is the Memorial area, and a man that has been woven into the fabric of the Memorial area is Mr. J. Carter Breed with J. Carter Breed Properties. Mr. Breed, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bill. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. We're glad to see you as always. And boy, we talk about the West. You have been out there. In fact, I bought a home from you years ago out in the Memorial area a long time ago. But you have been out there for a long time. Tell people about your company.
Well, I was with RE/MAX for 20 plus years, and kind of like Didi, we wanted to give exceptional service and felt like that we needed to do that in a better way. And the way to do that was to open our own firm. And we started about a year ago and opened up J. Carter Breed Properties.
Indeed. And also that area, tell people about, as you have been in the Memorial area, and those that are listening from out of town or out of the state, it is west of the city, and it really is, it's a beautiful wooded area. But tell people about the area that you serve.
Well, Memorial's boundaried by basically 610 on the east, I-10 on the north, Buffalo Bayou on the south, and Highway 6 on the west. And primary school district is Spring Branch Independent School District, and I'm heavily involved there. Actually, as you're well aware, I was just elected to the Board of Trustees for Spring Branch Independent School District, and we serve 35,700 kids and 4,700 employees all over City of Houston, and it's a blast. And I primarily work in the Memorial Spring Branch area.
And no doubt about it. And as you serve in that capacity, it's interesting, realtors all over, they like to be connected to the community in a variety of ways, and that also helps you stay tuned with what's going on, families coming in, kids growing up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do a lot of relocation work, and being involved with the schools sure does help with all that.
No doubt about it. Let's tell people about the marketplace in the Memorial area right now. How is it?
Well, as Dee Dee said earlier, I would very much have to agree with her. It's a little bit interesting and a little bit different. A couple of years ago, year and a half ago, it was incredibly strong, and it has softened a bit. But the good news is luxury homes are still selling, and our market is, I work in the Memorial Villages, and then west of there is basically West Memorial, and West Memorial would be considered outside of the Beltway, and then East Memorial would be inside, and then the Memorial Villages. The Memorial Villages is very, very strong, and what I would say is the $1 million, if you can find it, $1 million to about $1.8 million seems to be very, very strong, and then over $3 million is probably softened and a little bit harder now. But Ted, the good news is as we've already sold a couple of very large homes this year, well over that, and if there are great homes in good locations, you got to bring out the attributes of those homes, and they are selling.
And you started out talking about the school district. One lesson I learned, I don't know if I've probably bought 5 houses in my time here in Houston, 4 or 5, and I never made any money on any of them except the one that I bought from you. Now, what happened was, and I was fortunate, the previous ones I got out even.
Yeah.
But the one over there on Lasso Lane was interesting, and this is, I think, a real estate lesson here, is that it sold, and I didn't even put any improvements, but I made a nice profit because it was in a desirable school district called the Rummel Creek School District, and I was able to sell that, and now I can't go back and buy it these years later.
Yeah, that market has exploded. I remember.
You remember that house?
Yeah, I absolutely remember
Lasso
it.
Lane.
And we've got a couple around the corner from it, and I hate to even tell you the pricing now.
No, I'm curious because I drive through there once in a while.
The prices on those homes now probably start about for a lot at about $600 and go up. So it's appreciated a pretty good bit, and I think that probably the big reason for that appreciation is Spring Branch is considered, in my humble opinion, the best school district closest in to town.
That school district, and also I always like the trees in that area, and of course it's right near our Stewart Title office where I office, so it's really nice. I think back and say, boy, if I lived there now, I could walk to work almost. But also, tell us now, as the buyer, if I'm a buyer in the area of the Memorial, like we're kind of going to right now, if I'm the buyer, what can I expect? Let's say I say, look, Carter, I've got $500,000 to spend. What am I going to be able to get? And would I even be able to think about new construction at that price in that Memorial area?
Bill, sorry, no new construction.
Okay.
At $500,000.
Scratch that.
Basically, Memorial now starts, and that would be West Memorial, the starting prices are probably right around 400. So you're going to get 18 to 2,000 square foot at that 400 range, and it goes up from there. You would probably be a little bit. You would probably get a redo at 400s. I've got a house on the market out in West Memorial at 415 or 420. I think 424.9, and it's a 2,000 square foot house that's needs updating, and basically at Memorial and Derry Ashford, in nice subdivision, Nottingham Forest, and zoned to good schools. So a little bit more than that, you can get a little more house or get a little bit more updated.
Well, the great thing about you is that you have been there so long, you know what's happening. You know sometimes what's happening before it happens, right?
That does happen from time to time. I've been there 24 years, and my sweet mother was my mentor and a realtor, top agent back when I was a kid.
Well, give us an observation or two about the growth as you've been out there so long. I can even reflect back to the time I had the house there, but still, you go beyond that. And it really is such a nice area, but you've seen a lot of things. What are some of the things that stand out to you as you might reflect in the past 20 years or so, or 10 even?
The biggest thing that stands out, Bill, is that I didn't buy more real estate.
Interesting.
I have bought quite a bit over the years, but I wish I would have bought more. I could tell you story after story of thinking. I'll tell you a quick story. There was a house in Memorial Bend. This is years ago, and I remember doing an open house. I was sitting there all by myself. The house was on the market for $119,000. Couldn't get rid of it. And today, those lots in that neighborhood are selling for $550, $600 range.
Interesting.
So, should have bought that myself right then. Would have been a good deal.
A good deal. Like they say, the best time to have planted the tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And as it applies to real estate, no doubt about it, the interest rates are perfect.
Incredible.
It's unbelievable. We don't know where they're going to go, but it is a great time to buy, right?
Absolutely. I think there's some good values out there. Just look in your area, and I think you can find some good values.
Look in your area, but contact a professional like yourself, someone that knows the area, because you're getting so much more with the knowledge of someone like yourself that is out there and has been there for so long. Also, with the last couple of minutes, Carter, what else should people know?
So we have 6 people in our team. I have 2 administrative folks, and then I have 3 buyers agents and myself. My primary job is I still work with buyers, but I go out and get homes to sell, and we've been fairly effective there. And we're looking to grow some more. Our business has been very, very good. I think we've had a very good year this year, even though it's, like I said, a little soft market. I think some of the great things to know out there for sellers is that, if you hire somebody like me or somebody that's established in the area, or like Dee Dee in the River Oaks area, hire somebody that's talented and good, and that will effectively get that house out there. And as I tell people all the time, my job is to get that home well known to the public and to the broker agent community. And I think we do a good job there. And on the buyer side, I'd say you need somebody who's well established so they can protect you. I mean, there's always problems. We have issues all over in town with flooding, with fault lines, and it's important to be a good advocate for that buyer. And I will tell you, a good real estate agent will do that.
So what you're saying, in the real estate transaction, there could be pitfalls that await the uninformed person or family.
Absolutely.
Oh, no. Well, when you said fault lines and flooding, those are all so relevant. And the other thing that I reflect upon is putting myself just for a second in the buyer's place, and that is, if I walk up and look at 5 houses that day, I've been in my home for years, but then I'm now looking at homes. I look at this house, I look at the next house, but as the realtor, you're doing this every day. You're seeing things that they don't see. Hire a professional, no doubt. Right, Carter?
Absolutely.
And how can people reach you?
You can reach me at 713-482-2222 is my office, and my email is carter@jcarterbreed.com.
In fact, if they're driving around the area, they may even pull up next to you in a red light, at a red light like I did a few weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, J. Carter Breed, J. Carter Breed Properties. Thank you, Mr. Breed. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break and come right back. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We have even more surprises. Stay with us.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now, move over, Perry Mason and Saul Goodman. We have real estate attorney, Mr. Jay Paxton. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Great to be here again.
Yeah, some people remember Perry Mason, maybe, huh?
I'm too young to remember Perry Mason.
In the meantime, listen, real estate is so important. A lot of legal stuff, a lot of fine print. You live in that world all the time as a real estate attorney, right, Jay?
We do a lot of that, and a lot of detail work in the real estate realm, no question about that. One of the things that we see a lot of, though, is we have to caution clients to be aware of scams and issues relating to identity theft and all kinds of things like that. And we've had a change in our practice in recent years where we don't put personally identifying information like Social Security numbers, things like that, in any documents that go of public record. In fact, now in Texas, for some years, there's been a law that provides that we have a disclosure notice at the top of deeds and other documents advising people who sign them that they should not have any personally identifying information in that document because it goes of public record. But another interesting thing that we've seen recently is we were contacted by a client here not too long back where one of the lawyers in our firm had handled a real estate transaction for this lady, and she had purchased a home, and a few weeks after the closing, she gets this rather ominous-looking document in the mail.
Now this is after closing?
This is after closing. Okay. She gets a document in the mail that on the outside of the envelope, it's got this ominous warning. It says $2,000 fine, 5 years imprisonment or both for any person interfering or obstructing with the delivery of this letter, then U.S. mail, and I think it's supposed to mean Title 18 code. Well, that's part of the federal criminal law, but they misspelled the word title. They don't have that right. So that's your first clue. And anyway, so inside of this envelope was this this document entitled Recorded Deed Notice. And it's got a notice in here that gives her address, some identifying information about her home, and it says why you need a copy of your current grant deed and property assessment profile. And essentially what this is it's a sales pitch for her to send these people $83.
I was going to say there's going to be a request for money here or a demand.
Oh yeah, there's a request for her to send them $83. Your credit card gladly accepted. There's an 800 number here. She can call and give them her credit card, or to mail it in, and they will send you a copy of your current grant deed, which they are saying is vitally important for you to have. It says grant deed provides legal evidence of ownership interest, shows evidence that you've transferred your title. Then they'll also send you your property assessment profile, your county tax assessment information, your total assessment value, and other things like that.
Well, so what should people do? And as you started out describing this, one of the things that the hackers and the scammers all have done very well on the when it's a correspondence on the outside of an envelope, they make it look official, like as you described, or on a phone call. What should people do when they get a document like this? In your case, they called you. What should they do?
Well, I always tell clients, one of my favorite sayings to tell clients is, the big print giveth and the fine print taketh away.
No doubt. That's
Always read the fine print. Always read the fine print, because at the bottom of this thing is a little statement. It says, this product or service has not been approved or endorsed by any government agency. And it goes on with a disclaimer. The point of all this is that everything that this solicitation is asking is purporting to sell to this lady for $83. It's all stuff that she probably already has or can get online. Okay, the deed, she already has her original deed, because if she closed at a title company or an attorney's office, which she should have, they would have delivered the original recorded deed to her after the closing. And so she's already got her grant deed. She doesn't need to order it from somebody. The second thing also is that the property assessment profile information with the county tax assessor and the appraisal district, all of that is public information, and it's available online, and she can access that with the click of a mouse. So this is really, while it's not probably illegal, and it's probably not a scam in the sense that they're going to do any kind of identity theft, what it is it's a solicitation for her to buy a service that she really doesn't need, and she probably already has all that information.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to start saying is, I never met a house I didn't like. I keep going back to that. I love that. In the meantime, you mentioned another word along the way there, Jay, and you said signing a document. Now, what do we sign documents with, Jay?
Well,
It brings us to our next subject,
The only thing
doesn't it?
that I will sign a document with is a real fountain pen. And I'm a big pen aficionado, and as you know.
That's what they say, yes.
Well, I don't want to say how many I have in my
Yeah,
pocket today, but
people that are listening out there, we have a guy that he's got five pens in his top pocket, all beautiful pens, and we're going to hear about one of them in particular. But the whole idea, and since I've met you years ago, Jay, I now have several fountain pens, and I love writing with the fountain pen for a million reasons. It makes me think of my upbringing, the cartridge pens in grade school. It just makes me enjoy writing more. Now, in the meantime, tell us about some of the pens you have right there.
Well, a recent one that I have here that I recently purchased, I don't buy a lot of vintage pens, but vintage pens are very popular among pen aficionados. And I recently found this online with actually some acquaintances of mine that sell pens on the internet, and they came across this pen, and it is a vintage black hard rubber Maybe Todd Swan Eternal fountain pen. Dates from the 1920s era. The patent on this is, it's got patented January 11th, 1915. And you'll see the Maybe Todd, it's what's called a black hard rubber pen. Back in the day, before they had the modern plastics that we have today, it was common for things like this to be made with what is called black hard rubber. It's a form of rubber that has sulfur infused in it somehow, and it was an early form of plastic.
Interesting. So the pen that I'm holding right now and giving back to you was held by someone in the early 1900s. And what else you found out actually about the person, I believe? So you did some research on this pen.
I did some research on this, because the other thing about the vintage pens, and it was very common up probably until the 1950s, is since the fountain pen was such a personal item and they were typically very expensive, it was common for people when they got a fine pen to have their name or some kind of identifying information engraved on the pen. And this pen has an engraving on it. It says Paul Gordon Miller, 3rd Battalion, 176 FA, which I later came to realize meant field artillery. And then it says June 1927. So that dates this pen from 1927. I started doing some research on the internet and just thinking, well, there's a military connection to this pen.
Interesting.
What could that be? I did some research, and I haven't been able to connect all the dots together, but I'm pretty sure, I would say better than 50% certain, that the gentleman that probably owned this pen was a gentleman who was a 1931 graduate of West Point, because I went back to the register of that's available online on graduates of West Point, and there was a gentleman by that same name who graduated in the class of 1931. I did some other research and information and found out that he had been born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that he matriculated into West Point in July of 1927, which is the year when he was 20 years old, which is the year that this pen is engraved. So this was engraved June 1927. He entered West Point July in 1927. I'm guessing that perhaps this was a graduation gift, perhaps a gift that was given to him, possibly used by him at West Point.
Does this pen still work?
It absolutely works.
Isn't that
and
amazing?
In fact, Bill, these vintage pens, these old pens, are great writers. And this pen writes it just as good, if not better, than any pen I've got. Because they used gold nibs back then, and they're well worn. Typically, they're very well aligned, more so than a lot of the modern pens. And it's a great writer. It's one of my favorites. It's over 70 years old.
Isn't that fascinating? And if I may ask, how much did you pay for that pen?
This pen, I paid $275.
Look what you got. You got a story. You got to trace and learn history.
It's a part of
it
history.
writes.
That's right. And these pens, I've actually seen them like this because it was a good buy. I've seen them in the $500 to $800 range on the internet. So I think I got a good deal.
You got a good deal.
But I love it because of the history. You know, when I went to Baylor, there's a statement on the side of Patton F. Hall, Governor Patton F., who was governor of Texas and then was later president of Baylor. The preservers of history are as heroic as its makers. And I always remember that. I love history, and every time I use this pen, I think about our fighting men and women that stand in harm's way, fighting for our freedoms and keep us free, and say a little prayer for them when I think about that. So that's just a great part of history, I think, to carry around.
Indeed, and pens sign real estate transactions every day, and I think they should be signed with a great fountain pen, right, Jay? Now, have you held a ballpoint pen any time lately?
Well,
not even you don't even have a ballpoint pen, do you?
You know, I gotta say, I do have a ballpoint
There you
with
go.
me.
Oh my!
You know, sometimes if you're writing on something that you got to bear down, I guess a ballpoint's all right.
Yeah, if you have to press hard. In the meantime, one of the things I do want to say, if someone wants to get a great pen here in Houston, and people listen all over, of course, but Dromgools is a great pen. In fact, Dee Dee was there, I believe, today. I was there today, just by coincidence. And those guys, we talk about exceeding expectations. When I went in there today, and Larry was there, and Michael was very nice. He helped me. I had three pens that I brought in. He helped me with each one. And he actually told me that every once in a while you have to clean them. I didn't know that. But okay, so he said that. And also Fred was there. So those guys at Dromgools, they run a nice ship over there, right?
Absolutely. They're great folks, great family-owned business, great supporters of our local pen club, our Lone Star Pen Club that we meet every other month. And they're big supporters and great place to go.
Very nice. Go to Dromgools. And in the meantime, thank you, Mr. Jay Paxton. And you're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. We march on with even more. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
If you've been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know unexpected and costly events can happen. Safeguard yourself against the unexpected with Real Estate Errors and Omissions Insurance, or E&O, through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Not all E&O insurance policies are created equal. How confident are you that your current E&O policy fully protects you? Stewart Insurance and Risk Management offers expertise in the real estate industry and tailors your coverage to correctly manage your risk. With Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, facing the unexpected just became a lot easier. Safeguard your future with real estate E&O insurance through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Call today at 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com to request tailored insurance options for you and your business.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And now the sponsor of our show, Brittany Tackard with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, managing risk every day for satisfied customers all over, not just Houston, but I'll tell people around the United States they can get regular insurance as in home, auto, broker, E&O, and even more. Right, Brittany?
Right, certainly. That is exactly what we do. We consider ourselves a value to the real estate transaction being owned by Stuart Title. We provide insurance such as home to the home buyers that are closing with Stewart Title, and also we serve those people that are involved in that real estate transaction commercially with their broker E&O insurance, cyber insurance, things like that.
And we'll tell them right up front, if they're sitting by the computer, go to Stewart.com. The very first page, if they go to the insurance tab, they'll see two categories: personal insurance, as in the home, watercraft, auto, and then they'll see commercial insurance also. So if someone has a dry cleaner, a pet shop, or any kind of building, they can seek your insurance.
However you classify yourself, whatever insurance you're looking for, you can just click on your tab, and all of the products that are associated with either your job or if you're closing on a home, it's all right there for you.
It's fascinating. And, of course, we're so glad people know about Stewart Title. We have our 123rd birthday coming up in October in the title business. But your birthday, I don't know when that is, but you're going on 11 years of serving people with their insurance, right?
Yes, it's been exciting. And I'm actually coming up on my Stewart Insurance and Risk Management birthday on Friday.
This Friday? How
Yes,
about that?
yes,
Well,
it'll be a year.
congratulations. We'll
Thank
light the
you.
candles for that.
I'm excited.
Well,
Every day's exciting there, though. So
it really is. And also in that year, I bet you saw the growth, because as I've been observing here for the last 3 years or so, the company is growing all the time, serving people all the time.
It is. We got a new office, so we've actually moved offices. We have a very fun office. Bill talks about it sometimes. We have all these motivating quotes on the wall. It's just the standard to which we hold ourselves every single day. So it's our culture of success, we call it. We always look to exceed expectations, and so we have pillars all on the walls and banners all over the place, just reminding what we're going to every day, how we're helping customers, and how we're really making a difference to the real estate industry.
And I know the next quote that needs to go up there: I never met a house I didn't want to insure or that I didn't like, right?
I like that a lot. Just had to tweak it a little bit. That's perfect.
That's right. We'll work on that. We'll get the creative department on it. But in the meantime, so give us an idea. We also, I mentioned watercrafts. I mean, a lot of people are going to the lake. They're on the boat trying to cool off, things like that. Those are things that you insure, right?
Yes, exactly. So we, of course, being a part of the real estate industry, home insurance is definitely what we lead in with, but we have all sorts of personal insurance products. And there's always the ones that you want to, depending on your situation, that you may need. So as you mentioned, watercrafts, auto insurance, umbrellas, all of that.
And I'm thinking about going back to the beginning of the show, thinking of the $6 million homes and things like that. I bet they have some pretty nice cars that you can insure there when they drive their Ferrari or some of the beautiful vehicles, right?
Exactly. And not only that, but it's a bigger expense as far as the home goes. You want to make sure that you're protecting that properly. And so we really walk through, no matter what the product is, we really walk through with the customer and make sure that we are properly insuring their asset, no matter what it is. If it's their home, if it's their Ferrari, if it's their Honda. So, I mean, it's all important, and we all want to make sure that it's properly insured.
And we always love the theme of exceeding expectations, and that's what your company does. When someone calls to find out, and because you really do tailor the insurance to their needs, right? And they don't need to spend more. You get a great price, but also they get the proper amount of insurance after they tell you what they're trying to do and what the product is they're trying to insure, the home or the car.
And what helps us do that is we are an insurance broker, meaning we partner. We have access to over 300 insurance companies. So our tie is to the customer and not to a company. It's not Stewart's Insurance. We actually listen to the customer and find out their needs, and then we go out to the marketplace and we look around to see what insurance is going to serve them the best.
In fact, I remember sitting with Michelle at your company when I was insuring my home, and she laid out the options for me, and there was one package with the home and the auto with one company, and then there were some things there, I forget exactly the details, but then there was another option that I had that was just a much better option, and I actually saved money and got a little bit more insurance and a little bit more coverage over breaking pipes, I think it was.
Yes. So there's little things like that each time. And even the insurance companies themselves might have a certain value offering that we like to communicate to our clients. It really is just about education. You don't have to read the fine print because we've already done that for you. So we do want to make sure you're well informed about that. And we encourage you to, of course, and as Jay would say, to continue to read that fine print, because it's exactly what he said. The larger words, that's what we're giving you, but then the fine print takes away. So, but we have done that, and we look to educate our customers on that before we even enter into that contract.
Well, and that's why there's professionals like yourself and the other team members at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, and people like Jay Paxton, because they read the fine print, they advise their clients, because the person that is not in that profession really doesn't want to do it. A lot of them, now some do, but I know I don't. But I do want to make sure I have the right coverage. I'd rather talk to someone and say, hey, Brittany, do I have the right coverage? And then you could say, oh, yeah, or here's a spot we need to bolster up a little bit, right?
Yes, that's the people that we look to have on our team are the people that want to read the fine print, that want to understand the product so they can then educate and properly insure.
No doubt about it. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
So they can reach us at 866-845-4676, or you can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And no doubt about it. And we'll tell them again, go to Stewart.com and see the full menu. And not only that, when they go to Stewart.com, they can see a great website because we offer all kinds of information, not just on insurance, but also on the title insurance and all the other things that Stewart is doing, right?
And even this radio show is on our Stewart.com website.
In fact, I'm surprised the internet or the website doesn't explode because we are now adding show number 132 or 133 to it.
You gotta
Because
find that out.
yeah, they keep. I don't know how they have all that memory, all that space, because we can go back to show number 2 and show number 1 and hear it. They're all there, ready to be listened to.
And they're all very informational, very educational, and it's something that I learn something on the show every single day, and I'm thankful for it. So
no doubt,
it's a good
about
resource.
it. Well, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management phone number again.
866-845-4676.
Give them a call. And now let's go back to Dee Dee Guggenheim with Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty, and find out what else we need to know. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Bill, I'm still here.
You're still here, but you're a little further away. I can
Yes.
still hear you. It's so awesome. Well, as we were talking and through the course of the show, what other things should people know that you were thinking about?
You know what I think? I think that if you want bad news, you're going to find it. But here's some good news. The good news is we live in Houston. We own real estate in Houston, and we are buying and selling in Houston. We are diversified. We have good news right in here in Houston. And call me crazy, but you know what they say, call me anything, just call me. I will tell you some good news about our market, and that is that we are somewhat insulated. And if you own real estate or you're looking for real estate, we've got good news for you.
Well, it always is, especially now, and I hit this before, it truly is a time to buy, and I don't care if it's a $6 million home or whatever the home is. The interest rates are great, but it's just a great time to buy.
Well, where else are you going to put your money? Put it in real estate. It's a good buy. We're diversified. People are moving here every single day. Maybe not like they did in 2014, but they're moving here and they're buying. So I think it's a great time to list your home.
Well, another indicator of that is as I drive around any time of the day, and I don't know if you find this, but I don't care what time of day it is. It seems like there's just more cars. So the whole idea of people coming in, I don't think that they're still coming to Texas, but also to Houston, Texas, right?
Absolutely. Where else can you get as much as we have? We have waterfront. We have thriving, huge 2 international airports. We're central to everything. You can't beat, I would say our weather could be better. It's a little hot right now, triple digits.
I would definitely say that.
But, if that's all we have to complain about, I'll take it.
There you go. The weather could be better. We could be in Dana Point, California. One more time, Dee Dee, how can people reach you?
713-253-8529. Give me a call. Love to talk to you.
Very nice. Dee Dee Guggenheim, Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty, and now Mr. J. Carter Breed. Here he is. Carter, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here again. Still.
Well, yeah, we're still here. Hey, I'll tell you what, it is awesome to see you here. And also, give us an idea. What other things should people know about your company or real estate in general?
Well, we have a couple sides of our company. We do, as I mentioned, I started buying properties years ago, and so that moved us into property management. So we manage what I call executive homes, primarily in the West Houston, Memorial, Spring Branch area. And then, of course, we do, we help folks across the board in buying and selling.
Interesting. And as you are educated, been in the Memorial area and in the real estate profession so many years, if you were to speculate, Carter, and take the crystal ball out and say, okay, here we are, almost finishing 2016. We're looking into 17. What's it look like? What do you see?
Marvelous.
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 More good news.
More good news.
A big bowl of good news.
That's right. It's going to be, I think that it will as I mentioned, and Dee Dee mentioned, it's been a little bit softer than it was in 14, but it's good to be in Houston. And I think that we will see growth next year. I'm hoping oil prices will come back a little bit, and but our market hasn't suffered much. Again, as DZ said,
We're insulated in a way,
we're
right?
insulated, and our prices are holding and doing well, and it's a great time to buy.
Interesting. I didn't know about the property management aspect. Let's tell people a little bit again about that and what you do with property management.
Sure, how it started is a friend of mine contacted me years ago and said, "Hey, I need you to take care of my house." And I said, "We don't do that." And he kind of pushed on me. He says, "Well, you're already doing it with you have a couple." And so I went back and got some more schooling training on property management
Opportunity.
and took that over. And then he started referring, and so we started doing a lot of relocation, people who are going overseas for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And then a lot of people started buying houses as investments. Just kind of because I was doing it, that attracted possibly others to do it, and it worked and grew and grew.
In the meantime, one more time, how can people reach you, Carter?
jcarterbreed.com and phone number 713-826-4884 and email Carter at the initial jcarterbreed.com.
Or just drive around. You're going to see him. And Dee Dee, if you would, you had such a pivotal quote on this show. Tell us
Thank you,
again
Bill.
that famous quote. Let's hear it again.
I never met a house I didn't like.
Super cool.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carter Breed, Dee Dee Guggenheim, Jay Paxton, and with the last 30 seconds, here comes Natasha Livingston. You know, Natasha, what about these guys? What a great show, as always, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness, Bill. Absolutely. Very informative show today with wonderful agents and Jay. I'm just happy to be here.
It makes you want to buy a pen, too, doesn't it?
It does. I'm already thinking in my mind, I must start researching pens.
And you know a good place to close out there, which is actually in the city center. We'll serve anybody really, really well and exceed their expectations. How can they reach you at Stewart Title Memorial City Center?
713-468-8900, and that's Natasha Livingston. And we are a trusted resource, and we are one of the best places to close in the Memorial area.
No doubt about it. Houston's hometown title company, in business 123 years. That's right, 123 years in October. In the meantime,
Yes.
Natasha, one more time on the phone number if they want to reach you.
713-468-8900.
And I know what you're thinking. People are saying, hey, the show's almost over. The show is going to end. But we'll tell them, yes, the time of broadcast, this show is ending. However, it never ends because you can go to Stewart.com/Houston and hear any and all the shows and this show again and again. Stewart.com/Houston. Or if you want to see the show, you could see the pen that Jay was talking about. You could see all the guests here at Bill Napick Radio Shows, my YouTube channel. Again, that is Bill Napick with a K. Radio shows. Just Google my name. It'll come up. It'll be all over. The internet will explode. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Go to Stewart.com/Houston. Get some of that insurance at Stewart.com. Call Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Until next week, we'll see you then.